You pay it upfront and you get your property.
We felt that one of the biggest problems that doctors have is that they are uneducated in business. And I came across this when I went to my bank one day. And at that time, with that kind of salary, you don't see the bank manager. It's interesting that when I went to my KCB bank, the branch manager said he wanted to see me, and I was told by the teller that the bank manager had said that next time you come. So I said, why would you want to see me? Because it says that you are active in KMA. So I thought that he was going to calling me because my bank was in the red, because it was always in the red anyway. But it was surprised that he told me that, I wanted to see you to see if we can help you and your association. If you don't mind, I would like to have a chance to talk to your members about making money work for you instead of you working for money. Because I think that you people work too hard for the money, but the money doesn't work for you. That became an interesting thing. It happened during one of the branch meetings where I had gone for the branch meeting, and I think it was a dinner. And during that dinner, and that's dinner where doctors come with their spouses and sometimes even their children. So I was asked to make comments as a president of the organization that say that we want to move things in this area. And I broached this idea that we would like, and we are working with private institutions to help doctors go on holiday. You know what the reaction was? All the spouses of doctors stood up and said, yes, that I've never been taken for a holiday. This guy just works January to December and so on. And the only time that he takes me out is this annual dinner of medical association. So, Mr. President, you're right. You're saying that the tour agencies were telling us that it is possible for doctors to get rebates, packages that are just for doctors. You and your family go to Malindi, Lamu for 1 week at hardly anything, and that if their group wants, it can be done. Then we started learning that even for health, for car insurance and life insurance, we could go as a group and get better rebates, because it's assumed that the doctor has his blood pressure checked regularly, so he should live longer. I don't know if that's true, but we pushed that idea. So all of a sudden, there were economic opportunities appearing where as doctors, as professionals, we could use our professional standing to our economic advantage.
But in that period, something also happened in terms of welfare. We felt that as doctors, most of us who are employed in government were actually in Afya Circle. But because of our numbers, we were always the minority. So I think some of your colleagues, the younger people, just said, we must start our circle. And I particularly remember Dr. Kilozo and Dr. Rakwaro. And they just came to me and said, Chair, we are starting our circle. I said, fine, go ahead and start the circle. So then they actually started, mobilized, and the circle came into being. And now it is a 2 billion Kenya shillings operation. I was amazed. It can lend 10, 20 million to doctors. So now doctors have the circle and they have the housing. So people borrow from the circle and put in their housing. So that was also a major achievement in that period.
An energetic team of doctors ushered the new millennium in, ready to tackle the evolving health landscape.
One of the things that KMA HIV committee did was to partner with corporates and to make ARVs, antiretroviral drugs, available at very good prices. at that time when a course for 1 month would even cost about 50,000 to 100,000 shillings, with partnering with corporate pharmaceuticals, they made this accessible, and the prices came down to less than 500 shillings. This was a great achievement. Of course, there was the issue of training doctors, training nurses, and training pharmacists.
I have a very strong feeling that is what actually brought me to government. Because after that, when we said it could be done, people could be treated, and we have put a system of treating. I was called by the head of the civil service then, with Dr. Muga, who was the director of medical services, and Mr. God, who was the PS. A month later, I was asked to be DMS.
The opportunities availed and doors opened by associating with KMA cannot be understated.
I decided to do pathology immediately after my internship, and I had to go and apply for scholarship from the ministry. And when I went, I was told, "You are crazy. I mean, you just finished internship, you have to do 2 years." And I told them, "Why do I need to do 2 years of cesarean sections and other things when I want to become a pathologist?" So somebody refused at the provincial level then. I was told, if you want to be assisted, you better go to see the DMS. So I mean, for most junior doctors, or anybody for that matter, DMS office is such a big office. How do you? But because I had been with KMA for 2 years by then, I had interacted with Professor Richard Muga in very many circles, because as a DMS he was a member of KMA. Then he says, "But is there anything you have done? Because the reason why you have to work for 2 years is because you build a CV, you know what you have done." I had done a lot for East Africa Medical Journal, even published some articles, again, because of my interactions with people like Professor Lore. So I had all my dossier there, and I gave it to him. And as I was walking away, he told me he'll call me later, but as I was walking away, he called me back, and he says, "Go and pack your things and start. We'll find a way."
I think KMA has gone through a lot. KMA is alive, it's vibrant, it brings us together. It gives me a reason to associate and network with my colleagues.
I do not think there's any other place that a young doctor can sit with an old senior doctor and discuss things as equals other than in KMA. Because you know, in the hospital environment, it is very heavily regimented. We practice medicine almost like the military. So that if I am a senior doctor in a certain area, then people must respect me, people must give way whenever I say something, people must consider it seriously. But when we sit as colleagues in KMA, we sit almost as equals, because we can listen to everyone. Every idea is welcome. And it is those ideas from the young doctors that have helped to transform this association to the vibrant, outgoing, and visible association that it is today.
I mean, this is an institution that has exemplary skills, number one, in-house. It has potential to grow this. I mean, within the region, we are leading. We're the strongest within the region. So aside from offering leadership in terms of the regionally, we stand to push, one, our agenda. It's actually our agenda in ensuring quality of health is delivered to the citizenry of Kenya, in ensuring that all Kenyans have an access to a skilled health worker. Number two, can be able to afford these services that they require anytime, rather timely.
KMA Center in Upper Hill, Nairobi is a state-of-the-art business center comprising office spaces, restaurants and apartments. It is the pride of KMA.
The vision of KMA Center was to be a self-sustaining project to provide continuous funding for the association so that the association can concentrate on its core business of providing health to the country and being a doctors' welfare association.
So the KMA Center was part of the team that started it from simple paper. I remember working, I mean, we had meetings for very many hours, discussing the plans, discussing the approach, the strategy to use to recruit people to join the vehicle that was going to invest in it. And for us, the biggest achievement was actually putting up a 2 billion commercial structure in Upper Hill, and we had the President of the Republic of Kenya opening it. As a profession, doctors have been seen not to be entrepreneurial. So we took a big risk, and I think it just went to prove to the other associations that it's possible, that professionals can and should be involved in entrepreneurship and building this economy.
With the eyes of the world focused on access to universal healthcare, KMA is fully engaged in advocacy and policy development, laying the groundwork for the future of healthcare.
It's not doctors alone that can change the health system. It's impossible globally. It's not the nurses. Neither is it the pharmaceutical companies or the insurance companies. Healthcare is like an orchestra where you have everyone playing the instrument at the same time to produce music. Doctors are one piece of the health system. Professionals are one piece of the health system. And then there is the industry, there is the pharmaceutical sector, and there is the healthcare financing sector. All those subsectors put together produce the health sector in totality.
The entry of executive CEOs also starting to professionalize the activities of KMA. Without those changes, KMA would not be where it is.
Picking another SDG on gender equality, KMA is very particular about that. We've had the first president of Kenya Medical Association, the chairperson, been a woman. That tells you a lot. We've had the first CEO being a woman, the second person, telling you that there is room for us to also push towards their third rule as per the laws of this country.
In 61, 62, when I was in Mombasa, okay, I was with local authorities, but then other doctors says, oh, we are members of KMA, and so I joined KMA. But as a female doctor, when you go there were either you are alone or there may be one or two ladies, and when you talk to your male counterparts, they would just say hello, hello, and there won't be any further talk, and you feel isolated. So one would avoid sort of going too much to those meetings, you see. There is a big change to the extent that this year even your conference is dominated by female doctors in organization.
I'm really happy to see a lot more younger doctors who are not only becoming members but also taking up leadership positions within KMA, because I think that to me symbolizes that KMA has many more years ahead of us, that KMA will outlast us.
As a young doctor, being a member of KMA, I've benefited quite a lot. Number one, it builds your professional capacity. You're able to interact with a lot of senior doctors who, number one, they mentor you. Number one, they grow your leadership skills. Usually, if I was not a member of KMA, currently where I serve, I am not a leader in my position at work, but where I serve as KMA, I have gained the leadership skills. I'm actually able to run an office, having been in the KMA Nairobi division.
Today, KMA carries out its activities in 17 divisions across the country and is engaged in advocacy and governance with county governments, nationally and internationally.
Now we are interacting even wider, and I think this more so in the last 2-3 years, we have engaged more within the Africa region. KMA championing for the formation of a Federation of East African Medical Associations. The greatest link having been, I think, with Uganda. We attend each other's conferences, and we have football teams that play very serious games, and you know, there's always who's going to win this game. So that's the Matthew Lukwia Cup. And further than that, we've gone onto the world, or the global front. So KMA is now on interacting greatly in the World Medical Association, again interacting with members from all over the world who are members within the association. And again, the common thread is that as medical associations, as physicians, our challenges are so similar. So when we listen to each other, interact with each other, we can build each other up.
Over the last 50 years, the Kenya Medical Association has played a crucial role in the transformation of the health sector, emerging as a leader in engaging medical practitioners and the voice for provision of the highest standards of healthcare in Kenya and beyond.